She's deeply attracted to you, and she's terrified you'll never figure it out. Not because she's shy, not because she's playing hard to get, but because the moment she says it out loud, the moment it becomes a real, spoken, vulnerable thing, she loses the safety of plausible deniability. And for a woman who has been hurt before, plausible deniability is the last line of defense between her heart and another person who might not handle it carefully. So she doesn't say it. She shows it. In 6 very specific ways that are hiding in plain sight, right in front of you, every single interaction, waiting for someone who speaks the language to finally receive them. You're about to learn the language. You keep arriving at the same painful destination. You meet someone. Something real develops, or at least it feels real from where you're standing. The time together is good. The conversation goes places that ordinary conversation doesn't go. There's something in the air that both of you seem to feel. And then somehow, without a clear turning point, without a definitive moment you can identify, the connection stalls. She doesn't pull away exactly, but she doesn't move closer either. And you're left in that particular purgatory of not knowing whether to push forward or back off or just accept that you read the whole thing wrong. You've been here before, maybe more than once. And the worst part isn't the uncertainty. It's the retroactive realization, sometimes months later, that she was interested, that the signs were there, that you were standing inside the answer to your question and somehow didn't recognize it. That experience of missing something that was right there is one of the most quietly devastating things that happens between people who could have been something to each other. Today, we make sure it stops happening to you. 1. She remembers the invisible details of your life. Let's start here, because this sign is both the most overlooked and the most definitive. You mentioned something once, something minor, a project you were stressed about, a place you wanted to visit someday, a food you'd said you couldn't stand, something about your family that came up briefly in conversation. It wasn't the point of the conversation. It wasn't highlighted or emphasized. It was just a passing detail. And then weeks later, without prompting, without context that would explain why she'd retained it, she brings it back. She asks how that thing resolved. She references that place. She avoids that food when she's planning something that involves you. This is not a small thing dressed up as a small thing. This is an enormous thing dressed up as a small thing. The human brain does not automatically retain peripheral information about other people. It retains information about the people and things it is invested in, the ones that occupy mental real estate even when they're not physically present. When she remembers these details, it means you've been living in her mind between the moments you spend together. She's been thinking about you, specifically, privately, and probably more than she'd want you to know. 2. Her anxiety increases specifically around you. This one is genuinely counterintuitive, which is why it gets missed most consistently. Most men equate attraction with smoothness, with ease, with a woman who is relaxed and confident and clearly enjoying herself in his presence. And yes, that can be attraction, but deep attraction, the kind that makes someone genuinely vulnerable, often produces the opposite effect. When she really likes you, she becomes slightly less fluid around you than she is with people she's indifferent to. She might trip over a sentence. She might laugh a beat too quickly. She might touch her hair, adjust her clothing, check her appearance in a reflective surface. She might become slightly more formal or slightly more casual than her natural register, slightly off in a way that looks like discomfort but is actually significance. You matter to her. And mattering produces a very specific kind of anxiety that people who don't matter never trigger. Compare how she is with you versus how she is in the rest of the social environment. If she's fluid and easy with everyone else and slightly electric around you, that electricity is not awkwardness. It's attraction that hasn't found its outlet yet. 3. She initiates contact with reasons that don't quite hold up. A woman who is deeply attracted to someone but won't say it still needs to be in contact with that person. The pull is too strong to simply wait passively. So she creates reasons. She texts you a meme that she could have sent to 10 other people, but specifically sent to you. She asks your opinion on something she could have easily Googled or asked someone else. She forwards you an article that she says made her think of you, and the connection between the article and you is real, but could have been made with almost anyone she knows. Each contact individually has a plausible cover, but the pattern, the consistent finding of reasons to initiate, is the sign. Because here's the psychological truth underneath it. She is trying to stay in your peripheral awareness without the vulnerability of explicit reaching. Each small contact says, "I'm thinking about you," in a way that can be retracted if necessary. If you respond warmly, she knows something. If you respond coolly, she hasn't exposed anything she can't recover from. She's not being calculating. She's being careful with something she's afraid to lose before it's even fully formed. And that carefulness, that specific, initiated, reason-finding carefulness, is one of the most honest expressions of deep attraction that exists. 4. She pays attention to your reactions more than to anyone else's. Watch for this in group settings because it's almost impossible to fake and almost impossible to miss once you're looking for it. Someone tells a joke. There's a collective response in the room, and she laughs. But immediately after laughing, or even during laughing, her eyes find yours. To see if you found it funny too. To share the moment with you specifically. To check whether your experience of the moment matched hers. This eye-checking behavior, this involuntary seeking of your reaction as a reference point, happens because you have become her primary emotional anchor in the room. Not necessarily the most important person there by status or relationship, but the one her nervous system has decided matters most in this moment. It also shows up when she says something, a joke, an opinion, a story, and scans for your specific reaction before fully registering whether it landed. Your response carries more weight than the room's. If you smiled, it worked. If you looked unmoved, something in her adjusts. This is not neediness. This is the natural consequence of caring significantly about one specific person's experience. We all do this with the people who matter most to us, and she's doing it with you. 5. She finds ways to extend time with you that she doesn't announce. The evening was supposed to end 20 minutes ago. By every practical measure, the moment for goodbye has arrived. And yet somehow, through a question that opened a new thread, through a suggestion for one more thing, through a coincidentally timed need for something only you can help with, you're still together. And she is the reason. Not dramatically, not in a way that announces itself as, "I don't want this to end," but in the quiet, consistent, pattern-level way that a person manages time when they're trying to stay near someone they don't want to leave. The extended goodbyes that become conversations, the walks to the car that circle back to the front, the last-minute questions that buy another 10 minutes of proximity. These are not accidents of social momentum. They are small, intentional choices made by someone whose body doesn't want the evening to close. She will probably not tell you she's doing this. She may not even fully admit it to herself. But if you look at the pattern across multiple interactions, if you notice that time consistently extends beyond its natural ending when you're together, and that she's consistently the one who extends it, you are watching someone choose you over and over in the quietest possible way. 6. Her vulnerability has a direction, and it points at you. This is the deepest sign of the 6, and it's the one that most directly answers the question of whether what she feels is deep or surface level. Everyone has things they keep protected, aspects of themselves, their history, their fears, their uncertainties that don't come out in ordinary social interaction. The full, complicated, sometimes contradictory truth of who a person is lives behind a carefully maintained version of themselves that they present to the world. When a woman is deeply attracted to someone, that protection starts to develop a specific permeability, but only in one direction. Only toward that person. She tells you something real, something she doesn't routinely share. And when she does, she watches, she can't help watching, to see what you do with it. whether you handle it with care or whether you treat it like information rather than trust, whether you receive her vulnerability by offering some of your own, or whether you stay safely behind your own managed presentation while she's stepped outside hers. This selective vulnerability, this willingness to be more known by you specifically than by the wider world, is one of the most significant things a person can offer. It doesn't mean she has decided everything. It means she is deciding. She is in the process of determining whether you are someone she can be fully real with. And the question she's hoping you'll answer, with your response, your presence, your own willingness to be seen, is, are you? 7. What all 6 signs are saying underneath the surface. Now pull all of it together. She remembers your details. Her anxiety rises specifically around you. She finds reasons to initiate contact. She checks your reactions above anyone else's. She extends time without announcing why. And she lets you see her in ways she doesn't let others see her. Every single one of these signs is a variation of the same thing. She has chosen you as the person who matters most in a specific emotional landscape. And she's showing you that choice in the only way she can without saying it directly. This is not confusion. This is not mixed signals. This is a woman navigating the terrifying space between feeling something deeply and trusting someone enough to voice it. And while she's navigating that space, she is leaving you a complete, honest, unmistakable trail of who she is and what she feels. The only question is whether you're going to see it. 8. How to respond in a way that opens the door rather than closes it. Seeing the signs is only the beginning. What you do with them determines everything that comes next. The response she needs is not a bold declaration or a dramatic gesture. She's not in a place yet where big moves feel safe. They feel like pressure. What she needs is warmth and steadiness and the sense that you are receiving what she's offering without making it bigger than she's ready for it to be yet. Ask her a real question based on something she shared. Reach back with something real of your own. Let the time extend without filling the extra space with noise. Let eye contact hold for a breath longer than necessary. Create one small private moment inside whatever situation you're in together. These are not techniques. They are the natural language of someone who has received what she's offering and is offering something back. And when she feels that reception, when she feels genuinely met at the level she's been reaching from, the door she's been standing at finally feels safe to walk through. Not because you did everything right, because you were actually there. 6 signs. 6 different ways of saying the same thing without saying it. She was never hard to read. The language was just one nobody taught you. And now that you have it, now that you can see the remembered details and the specific anxiety and the manufactured reasons and the reaction checking and the extended time and the directed vulnerability for what they actually are, you don't need her to say it. You already know. And knowing is the beginning of being brave enough to meet her there. To close the distance that both of you have been circling. To turn the signs into something real by responding to them with the honesty they deserve. She's been waiting, patiently, quietly, hopefully. Now you know she's waiting. Go meet her. If this video finally named something you've been sensing but couldn't articulate, subscribe. Every week on this channel, we decode the real psychology of attraction, connection, and what actually happens between people who are trying to find their way toward each other. The hidden signs, the unspoken signals, the moments that matter most and get understood the least. You deserve to understand all of it, and a little more of it. You now do.